together a wonderful piece backing to commemorate the Bloom-Topia Quilt Along, and Sherri and Chelsi are going to give us tips on how to make it. So let's get started in release 12.
Okay, now that you've finished your Bloomtopia blocks and set them together into a quilt top, it's time to make the pieced backing for our quilt. And it has a fun 2020 block with a cute little border that you will just love. I'll start out by showing you how to make the two blocks. We're going to take a rectangle and a background fabric, right sides together, draw a diagonal line from corner to corner, sew on the line, and press and trim that seam allowance away to just 1/4 of an inch. And then we're going to actually repeat that on the other corner. And we will be making one of these for the top of the number 2 block. Okay, for the next section of our 2 block, we're going to use a print rectangle and a background square. We're going to draw and sew a diagonal line from corner to corner, press and trim, and it will look like this. And then we're going to take another background square and we're going to place it on the other side of the block, and this time we're going to be sewing corner to corner once again, pressing and trimming so that we have a unit like this. The next 2 units for our 2 block are super simple. It's just a matter of sewing rectangles and squares together. For the first unit, we're going to have a background rectangle and a print rectangle, sew them together, and then add another print rectangle to the side. And then for our final section, it's just 3 squares, 2 print squares and 1 background square in the middle, and sew them together. Here are all of the units that we've just assembled, and we're going to sew them together to make our 2 block. And we're actually going to make 2 of these blocks, 1 in green and 1 in red. Now it's time to make our 0 blocks. You will need a rectangle and 2 background squares. You will draw a diagonal line from corner to corner, sew on that line, press out and trim, and we'll repeat that on the other side to make a unit like this. And you will actually need 2 of these units for each 0 block. Now the next part of the 0 block is even easier. It's just 3 rectangles sewn together, 2 print rectangles on the outside, and a background rectangle in the middle. Now we're ready to put the 0 block together. We'll take the 2 units for the top and the bottom that we made first, and then our simple rectangle strip unit goes in the center. We sew those together to make our 0, and then you're going to notice that we're going to add a background rectangle to the bottom. And you will also need to make 2 of these 0 blocks, 1 with the yellow fabric and 1 with the soft coral fabric. Now we're ready to put the 2020 unit for our pieced backing together. And so you're going to lay out the 2 blocks and the 0 blocks, and then you've got background rectangles in 3 different sizes. So make sure that you look at the pattern for placement of the different sizes. And we will sew the center section together by sewing background rectangle, 2, background rectangle, 0, background rectangle, 2, background rectangle, 0, background rectangle. We'll put that all together in 1 unit, and then we'll put the longer background rectangles on the top and bottom. And then we'll set this aside once it's all sewn together, because we're going to make a cute little scallop border to go around the edges. Okay, now we're going to make the scallop edges that go around our 2020 unit. And we're just going to take the print squares and the background rectangles, and we're going to do our easy corner flip and sew method once again, where we place the square right sides together with the background rectangle, draw and sew on the diagonal line, press out, and we're going to do the same thing on each end, and we're going to trim. But I wanted to show you something. On the left side of your block, you're going to press out and trim, and on the right side, you're actually going to press in this direction, and that will be so that the seams will nest when we put the scallop border together. So, and the arrows are shown on your pattern so that you know which direction to press. So we will be making 18 of these units. Okay, so we've got the 18 rectangle units, and you're going to sew them together. You're going to make first 2 sets of 3, and you will see that the seams, when you put them together, just nested really nice, and it helps your points to really just match perfectly. So you're going to make 2 like this, and then you're going to make 2 sets with 6 each, and on the end you're going to sew the square pieces, and so this will make the border for our 2020 unit. And let me show you what it looks like all put together. I absolutely just love how our 2020 unit turned out, and I was thinking while I was making this that if you know a graduating senior this year, this would make a great wall hanging for them with the year of their graduation, and you could just make this section and have it quilted up and give it to them for a gift. I hope you've enjoyed making this pieced backing section and all of the Bloomtopia blocks. We have sure enjoyed quilting along with you. Thanks so much. This completes the 2020 piece section for your backing. You'll find directions in the pattern for cutting the side pieces and the top and bottom pieces to set them all together. We sure have enjoyed quilting along with you with this Bloomtopia Quilt Along, and hope you've enjoyed making this quilt too. You can find me on Instagram at @aquiltinglife and on my blog at www.aquiltinglife.com.
And you can find me on Instagram at Chelsi Stratton and on my blog at www.chelsiestratton.wordpress.com.
Thanks for joining us!